Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So, I've been trying to do some different type content, and if y'all remember, I put a note in the community tab that I wanted to do a Q&A video because we have so many new subscribers, and I get a lot of questions, both in comments and privately in emails, and you all rose to the occasion, and I got some really good questions that were actually quite thought-provoking. So while we make this video, while we talk, I am going to try my hand at a gingerbread house kit. Now y'all, I did not do this from scratch. I could have, but I thought, for purposes of this, let's just have fun. So get yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a little snack, sit back, relax, let's build some gingerbread houses and talk about your most pressing questions. I hope you'll stay tuned. First, I just want to share quickly, I purchased this at Walmart. This is the Gingerbread Mini Village Kit. It makes 4 little houses. It includes icing, bags, which I've assembled, and then various candies. But because I like to be a little extra sometimes, I also purchased this Create a Treat decorating kit just to have some extra things like Christmas trees, and look at these cute little gingerbread people. So yeah, I should have enough stuff. So the first thing you need to do, y'all, is separate out each 2 houses comes packaged like this. I'm gonna start with these 2. Some of them are stuck together. Let me just say it doesn't smell like gingerbread. And you cut them apart, and you may notice you've got some floof on the edges. Floof, I guess that's a word. I'm just gonna kind of trim those off, and I'm gonna actually start with the little one because I think that might be easiest. I'm very interested to know if any of y'all ever made a gingerbread house from scratch. I did many years ago, like 30 years ago or 40 years ago, and I found it to be an extremely frustrating experience. Not having pieces crack and all of that stuff. So when I was talking with my son a little bit about, I think I'm gonna, make some gingerbread houses on a video for fun, while I do a Q&A, he was like, buy extra, Mom. So he must on some level remember the gingerbread house debacle of probably 1990. I'm just guessing. So yes, I thought, well, okay, I'll do the 4. They had a little bit of everything, y'all, like Sour Patch Kids houses. It was really cute. It was a ski chalet. They had Oreo cookies, you name it, you could find it. And I just purchased this, kind of late in the season, but hey, you know what? They still had plenty to choose from. So I am going to sit, and somebody's gonna ask me about my shirt. So I'm gonna tell you, this was made for me by my neighbor who has my chicken's sisters. And it says, and just like that, the crazy chicken lady was everyone's favorite neighbor. I thought that was so cute. So yeah, I think this saying probably came out when eggs were so high, but my neighbors do benefit from my chickens. So let's get started on, there are directions on the back of this, y'all. First thing I need to do, and it is so cold in this house, I don't know. Did you hear my heat cut on? Guys, it's like in the low 20s here this morning, but that's not unusual for December. Our coldest month is generally January. So that kind of brings me to my first question. I have a lot of people ask me, where do you live? And it's not that I think they're creepy stalker people, but just, to have some reality on where I live. So I live in sort of central southwestern Ohio. So if you know Ohio at all, I'm kind of between Columbus and Cincinnati, if that helps. So I am in zone 6A. I happen to live in a very rural area, even though I live in town, and I use that very loosely. Our population here in Cedarville is about 2,500. We do have a humongous university that has more students living on campus than we have people that reside outside of the university in Cedarville. So how did I end up in Cedarville? I get that question a lot too. So Cedarville is known for a few things, but one of the big things is they have a very good school system. So that was part of the motivation for me moving here. And I'm just going to be completely honest. My plan, once my son was grown and gone, was to move out of Cedarville to a less rural area. And as you all know, that kind of didn't ever materialize. And the reason for that is it is a very low crime area, very safe. And this is the longest I've ever lived in any house in my entire life. So I've been here, it'll be 23 years next month. And so I've kind of taken this on as my forever home, if you will. I'm gonna grab a mason jar, and then one of the first things you need to do is knead your icing, and then I'm gonna put it out in the bag. So forgot the jar, y'all know I can't have everything, so stay tuned. All right, so if you're wondering how to fill a pastry bag easily, this happens to be a wide mouth jar, so it depends on the size of your bag, but just put it down into a mason jar like this, and then the instructions say we are to fill kind of half and half, so that's what I'm gonna do here. It's not a whole big bunch of icing, so hopefully it will be enough. If not, we'll make houses till we run out of icing. So back to why do I live here? The other reason, besides the fact that there is a very low crime level here, and I'm just gonna squeeze this down, y'all. It is, believe it or not, and this is odd, it is truly a dry town. And I can't give you the explanation for that, but that is one of the things that is known about Cedarville, Ohio, that's a little bit different than, you know, kind of your average place to live. So I get a lot of questions during gardening season primarily about what does, you know, 6A look like growth-wise. And we usually have our first frost-free day around Mother's Day, so first part of May, first week of May. This year it was a little earlier. And our first frost is generally in October. So I don't get much growth past, honestly, September. So that's a pretty short grow season. And I have a lot of questions about the garden and what my plans are that I'll be getting to as well. However, starting my seedlings indoors or, you know, buying established plants, I do some of both, has really helped me be able to, you know, grow a lot of my own food, which not only do I enjoy it as a hobby, I feel like it's a lot healthier for me. Okay, so we got that done. All right, next question, and y'all, believe it or not, this is one of the most common questions I get, and that is either where's your husband or do you have a boyfriend? So I am single. I have been single for 27 years. I'm perfectly content. I don't have a boyfriend. And, you know, a lot of my life in the past 13, 14 years, really, since my dad first got sick, and my dad passed away in 2010 of cancer, For those of you who are new, I lost my mom in June 29th, and she had vascular dementia and a lot of heart problems. So, yeah, I've spent a lot of time caring for my parents, and while that didn't preclude me from having a relationship, I just never found the time. Okay, so that's my story. Okay, let me just read this a little bit before we go to our next question. Packed lines of icing along left and right edges. Oh, I hate it when they do along the back panels. Back panels. A and C. Okay, so it looks like the first thing you got to do is kind of start to stick them together. So it says pipe a line here. Oh my word, that's going to be thick. And I don't have the best hand strength. Y'all know that. Okay. This may be an epic fail, guys. But you know what? At least we tried. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should have stuck this in the microwave for a minute. It's just super stiff. Okay, that's better. Maybe it was operator error. Let's put a little bit more here. All right, next question. Okay, well, maybe it's not better. Oh, y'all. This may be like a 2-year-old made it, but I'm going to try. What do I do in my free time? Well, y'all, what I do in my free time is generally what you see me do on a lot of my videos. I love every aspect of being self-sufficient, of homesteading. I love crafts. I like to read. And I do spend time with friends. I do not have, a super active social life, believe it or not, but I do have friends that are like-minded that I enjoy getting together with. Please stick. Well, this is good sticky icing, at least. I enjoy going to antique stores, to farmers markets. I like any kind of like bazaar or church related event. I enjoy that as well. But generally, what do I do in my free time is exactly what you see me do here on my channel. I think my greatest enjoyment comes in the summer when I can be outdoors and not cooped up inside. It gets a little challenging in Ohio because we have very gray days through April. But you can still be outside, and I'm outside every single day, multiple times a day, rain, snow, sleet, shine, whatever, because I like to go out and visit with my chickens and walk around my property and, just try to get some exercise. I think that is important. Y'all, it's sticking, so I think we'll use the clean factory edge to butt the roof together. What do you think? It seems like it should go like that, maybe. What does it say? Yes. Okay. I've seen on top peaks of A and C panel. I hate this. Like, I just, can you just give me pictures? And it does help, guys, if you twist your bag. That was part of my problem. The icing was scooching up in the pastry bag. So, but it is quite thick. And it wants to like break like that and not go in a smooth line. But we're going to persevere. And I can already tell you, there ain't no way that I can do 4 houses. So I may have to make some, I forget what this kind of icing is called. Decorator icing. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. All right. So let's get into some more questions. What do you say? Okay. So from you all on my post, first question I got is, am I getting more animals? So I would like to say yes, I want more animals. I have enough land that I definitely, I think this needs to be up here. I definitely, can accommodate more animals. The question that I'm struggling with is, should I build a barn in the spring? And oops, I'm making a mess here. Just straight up based on prices I'm seeing. Whoo, y'all. I might need another day job. Quite pricey. It would add, I think, significant value to my house, because I may not be able to stay here forever. My crystal ball doesn't work for things like that. So I really don't know if I will be here forever. There may come a time I want to downsize, or I'm forced to downsize from a health related standpoint. I of course hope not, but I have to be realistic. Okay guys, what do you think? This is our first little house. I'm going to try to put 2 together, and then we can do some decorating. What kind of animals would I get if I'm going to get more animals? I've been very interested, and I guess I showed it in one of my videos, I've been very interested in turkeys. So the funny thing was, my son said, well, Mom, you're going to have to find someone who can process your birds for you. And I'm like, oh, I'm not, if y'all know I hate turkey. I'm like, I'm not going to eat them. He was like, well, what are you going to do with them? And I'm like, well, they lay eggs. I was going to get a boy and a girl. That's kind of what I was thinking, Ben. And he was like, do you even like turkey eggs? And I'm like, I don't know. So I don't want to get animals just for the sake of saying, ta-da, look, I have all the animals. I've thought about guinea hens. I've thought about quail. I think I would eat quail eggs. I don't think I know. I've had quail eggs. They're very tiny. And, that's just a decision I'm going to have to work on and decide what I want to do. What I won't have is, anything like a cow or a goat. I would like to have a goat, but I have to also recognize that I don't live on a farm. I am not Miss McDonald. And I have limited space and also limited resources, because you get your animals, but you have to care for them and you have to feed them. And if you're not utilizing the things that they give us, feed us, whether it's eating the meat, which I don't want to do, or wow, this is really bad, guys, sorry, or in the case of a goat, breeding the goat so I'll have milk, and then what would I do with the babies? I could use the milk for making bath and body products. That would not be a bad thing. Let me grab a paper towel, guys. So, if I want pets, that's one thing. But when you get into farm animals, it's not as easy as a dog and a cat, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Chickens, you have to have a chicken sitter if you're going to go out of town, right? So, wow, that just seems so tall. But I guess that's the way it goes. Ooh. Stay tuned, because I'm not fully sure what I'm going to do, but I do have an interest in having more, I'm going to say, bird type animals. And also, I am restricted in how many I can have, as well as what I can have from a noise standpoint, just with our particular town's rules. Okay. Next question was, do I plan to develop my outside kitchen further? And the answer to that is, I really would like to. One of the things that was a challenge this year was storage. I found myself having to kind of run in and out of the house a million times, and I didn't really have a good place to store a lot of the things I use to can and cook outside. So I would like to add some fairly permanent type cabinets to make it a little easier and stop all the incessant running in and out, but it would need to be, you know, safe from weather and chicken girls and things like that. So I would like to do that. It was really nice this summer to be able to keep the heat out of the house when, okay, first tragedy, guys. My roof broke. You just stay right like that. Nobody's ever gonna know you cracked into. Okay, they might. Okay, let's put a little glue on that. So no wonder Ben said, hey, get extra, Mom. Oh my gosh, this icing is so thick. Okay, you're just gonna stick together. You're gonna be fine. No one's even gonna know that you're broken. I think having a better consistency of icing would help. Come on, you're sagging, roof. Okay. Okay, this one is definitely a little more on the challenge bus. Okay, let me just hold that for a minute. Another question that I got is, have I ever made or do I plan to make kefir? And the answer to that is no, I've never made it. And I would have to do a little bit of research. Certainly not an expert, can't give you my opinion on that, but I thought it was a thought-provoking question. I do like kombucha. I go through fits and spurts with it. I'll drink it a lot and then I get kind of tired of it. I like making it in the summer because my house stays a little warmer. The process just seems to make a little bit better of product in the end. Plus I have fresh berries, so. Oh Lordy, guys, I don't know about this. Okay, we won't touch you for a few minutes. All right, how will, next question, my larger garden benefit me in the future? So I know this year I had like Tomato Palooza, and that was simply because I had such great germination with my indoor germinating. And I do plan again to use my AeroGarden, my hydroponic system, to start seeds and then to up pot them or pot them in dirt and then transplant them outside. Guys, it saves me a ton of money. I am a seed saver, and I also trade and get donated seeds. Some of you lovely folks have sent me seeds, so I definitely think having a larger garden is going to benefit me from the standpoint of just being able to produce more food. So even though I had all those tomatoes, I made a lot of sauce, and guys, I'm going through it pretty quickly. Like, I won't be over tomatoed by next year. I'll be ready for some more tomatoes. What I would like to do more of is some unusual vegetables, like things that I like. I love turnips. I did those last year. I'll be repeating that. Kohlrabi, more herbs. I would also like to have more flowers for cutting. It attracts pollinators, and I think that is another reason that my garden was a pretty good success. So what have I added? Well, I added the fence. Y'all have seen that. I did add a 4x16 long bed on the north side of the garden, and I still have room and would like to plant more fruit. I am not a good fruit eater. pardon me, I do have strawberries and raspberries, but I'd like to expand a little bit on that. I'm considering maybe even grapes. That might be a good option for me as well. So I definitely think it will benefit me in the fact that I can keep the chickens out of the garden, which was a never-ending process. As you know, they learned how to pick tomatoes and eat them. And sometimes they could just get in. My fence was only like this high, and it wasn't super secure. And so I had chicken wire everywhere, and it always made me nervous they were going to get hurt on the chicken wire. All right. Do I have plans for an orchard? Well, y'all, honestly, I don't have room for a full orchard. And I'm just being completely honest. Mine is going to look nothing like this. Let's see if this one's set up enough. We can maybe do a little something. What I do think would be fun to do is to have an apple tree. I wanted to do something kind of in honor, I will say, of my parents. And I thought, you know what might be really, really fun? Hi, Franklin. Sorry, guys. Might be really fun to do kind of a little something that my dad would have liked, something my mom would have liked. So I do want an apple tree for sure. And I'm not sure what other kinds of fruits I might be interested in. At this point, like I said, I've thought about grapes. Guys, this is like disaster. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna look like 5-year-old crafting time. Okay. Or we can just take that off. This icing is just too thick. Let's put some lights on the roof. What do you think? That I know I can do. Oh, my word, y'all. So one thing to note about a kit is it may or may not be the proper consistency icing. Ask me how I know. I'm not a huge fan of blueberries, so probably no on blueberries. I eat them. I like them in things, but not 100% sure that I would enjoy having them growing here. So part of what I like to do in the winter is kind of dream about warm weather and what I might be able to do, you know, this year. I've already received my Baker Creek seed catalog. So on those cold winter days when the snow's a-flying and it's 20 degrees below zero here, I think it is a good time to really think about what do you want to do when the weather isn't so inclement, for sure. Okay. So I'm not going to do a ton of icing, guys, because it's not cooperating with me. One of the most thought-provoking questions I got was kind of a two-parter. How did I get to where I am now? Was it a lifelong goal or something that grew with time? And I had to really think on this. Like, seriously, why do I do what I do? And what I can tell you is my parents always had a garden when I was growing up. I loved seeing things grow, and I just thought it was so amazing that you could plant a seed and eat from it. You know, I just thought that was the neatest thing like ever. So yeah, Frankie, just a minute. I thought why not do that on my property? Well, y'all, life has a way of changing up what you're able to do. So through the years, because of my work schedule, and for those of you who are new, I am a registered nurse. I obtained my license in 1981, 42, almost 42 years ago. Gosh, can I do ciphering this morning? And my work schedule wasn't always conducive to having a lot of extra time to do some of those things. And as I neared the end of my working career, guys, see how cute that is? I thought, you know, I need to figure out what my plan is for retirement. And y'all, hold on just a minute. Let me get Frankie settled because he's most unhappy. Crisis averted. He needed a drink of water. And let me tell you, when you don't give Frankie a drink when he wants one, oh my word, y'all have heard him. He gets loud. So while I was waiting for him to finish, I finished up my little house. And you know, guys, it's kind of cute. I have this little kickstand I'm gonna set it on for right now. And I'm gonna work on this one. And maybe if you're not watching me, it won't be so nerve-wracking. All right, so where did I get to where I am now? Guys, I wanna tell you it's been a very long process. I did start formulating some plans when I had my 4th back surgery and all the complications, and I pretty much knew that it wasn't looking likely that I would be able to continue working. And I had been told, actually, guys, for a number of years, you need to retire, not by my work, just by physicians, surgeons, neurologists. You know, you're just damaging your body further. And nurses are the worst. We can be very stubborn. We cannot listen. But with just the number of complications I had, I knew that it was time. If you're new to my channel, I have psoriatic arthritis, I have systemic lupus, and unfortunately, it has attacked a lot of my joints, and particularly my spine. So, you know, it's not what I wanted to do, to be quite frank. However, I had, I think 42 years, because I remember 16. Yeah, 42 years of full-time work. So I qualified for Social Security. So I went ahead and took the disability retirement. And at first it was a real challenge because I didn't feel well and I had a lot of mobility issues. I had a lot of fractures as complications from my surgery. So at first it wasn't a whole lot of fun. And then once I began to feel better, I thought, you know, today's the day, Kym. You have wanted chickens forever. You have wanted to really be able to devote time to your garden and food preservation and learning new things and all of your crafts. So yeah, it was kind of a long process for me. And as time has gone on, I am finding myself wanting to try new and different things, like get turkeys. I very much enjoy the feeling of self-sufficiency. I am not a doomsday prepper. I do like being prepared. I like knowing that pretty much whatever I want to make, I probably have it either freeze-dried, dehydrated, canned, on the shelf, in the freezer, somewhere. And that has enabled me to be able to easily come up with things I want to do on my channel. And y'all have kind of come along the journey with me, because when I first started YouTube 3 years ago, I did not have the depth of pantry that I do now. So I've learned a lot by watching other people who have a similar type desire and lifestyle. And I will just tell you, start somewhere. That's what I did. I started with having some things like flour and sugar, things that I could store in Gamsol buckets. I kind of progressed from dehydrating a lot of food to doing a lot more canning. And then I purchased the freeze dryer. So it does take time, guys. It's not an overnight, or it wasn't for me. You know, I don't have deep pockets. So I also had a lot of responsibility at the time with my mom. So I had to do what I could do when I could do it. I am finding, y'all, as much as I miss my parents, I have a lot more time on my hands because my mom, with her dementia and her behaviors, kept me extraordinarily busy. And I'm not saying that to mean any sort of disrespect. It's just a fact, Jack. And my mom almost always knew me. Now, there were times she didn't, but she would ask for me and want me, and I just couldn't say no. And that's just my personality. So I hope that answered your questions. It wasn't exactly a lifetime goal. It kind of grew over time with my change in working and having more time. All right, I love this one. How many cookbooks do I have? Now, I'm going to be fully honest with y'all. I honestly don't know how many cookbooks I have. So I tried to do a guesstimate, and I'm going to tell you I have at least 75. Now, they're not all like big cookbooks. You know, some, oh gosh, this is the absolute worst icing I've ever used in my entire life. Sorry, Walmart, but truth. I love the Better Homes and Gardens individual specialty cookbooks that are like, you know, frugal meals or eat and stay slim. That one taunts me a lot. I hope y'all are laughing with me. Best meats, holiday dishes, cookies from your kitchen. You know, there's just so many. And I'm always overjoyed when I end up finding one that I don't already have, because I might have a couple duplicates, which kind of brings me to this. I wanted to share this with y'all. I am, this morning, today is the 12th, at 6,050 subscribers. Y'all, you knocked it out of the park. So I am going to do a giveaway. The giveaway is going to be at least some vintage cookbooks in honor of my Throwback Thursday videos that many of you seem to enjoy. I am going to wait until after Christmas, so right around the 1st of the year, to actually send these out. And you may be like, well, why? And the reason is just with the mail being so overloaded all the time, I'm afraid that it won't arrive or it'll get lost. And so, yeah, I am just going to make that executive decision. So I will have a giveaway video where I share what I'm going to be giving away. There may be more than one giveaway. Just saying. These are really sticky gumdrops too. All right. Next question. Do I ever make Greek yogurt? And the answer to that is yes. So really the difference between homemade yogurt that I generally make in the Instant Pot and Greek yogurt has to do with extracting more whey, more of the liquid out of the yogurt. So oftentimes what I do, you do need to let the yogurt drain even when it comes out of the Instant Pot. You can use that whey protein in bread making. It makes a beautiful loaf of bread. But I will actually refrigerate it overnight still in the sieve, and that makes a beautiful thick yogurt. My favorite way to make yogurt, I have tried the yogurt starters. I don't care for them. It's really dicey what you're going to end up with, in my experience. Could be operator error, just saying. So what I like to do is use some of a previous batch of yogurt to get that started. And if you have an Instant Pot, all the directions are in your Instant Pot cookbook. Okay, this is a fun one. What is my favorite vintage appliance? And I was like, oh, wow. I have a lot of them, y'all. Definitely have to say it's my aunt's and uncle's refrigerator that I purchased at the estate sale. It is a 1951 Philco in mint condition. I use it every single day. And I know that's a big appliance. So what is my favorite small appliance? Wow, I really had to think on this. I absolutely love my electric skillet that is shaped like a spaceship. I think that's really neat, but I don't eat a lot of fried foods. So primarily I use that when I'm making something special like donuts, which I rarely make and can't eat now or won't eat now. I could eat them, but I don't want to. So I think my number one that I was the most amazed with is my vintage popcorn maker. That is the clear dome where you can watch it pop. That makes absolutely the tastiest popcorn I have ever eaten in my life. All right, next. I'm gonna stand up for a minute, guys. What do I use for natural pain relief? And I thought, this is an amazing, amazing question. I may go ahead and do a video on how to make some pain relief melts. So you do need to use pure essential oils. It has frankincense and myrrh in it, and they are not complete pain relieving, guys, by any stretch, but I find that every little bit helps. My primary go-to when I'm extraordinarily stiff and sore is an Epsom salts bath. So I have a corner jacuzzi tub. I don't use the jets. I just like to soak in a bathtub full of Epsom salts. I like the spearmint and eucalyptus. I think the mint kind of acts like some of the Bengay type preparations, like the menthol type preparations. So I do also at times use some of those smelly, stinky menthol-based rubs, and I find that they help. The biggest thing for me in my particular situation is to remain active. So after I'm in bed all night, mornings can be honestly my absolute worst pain time of the day. And then I have another one in the evening, but it's because I've laid still all night or I've laid still for a period of time. So if I wake up in the middle of the night, a lot of times I will get up, use the restroom, get a drink of water, you know, just keep moving so that I'm not totally sedentary for that many hours. And that can largely depend, guys, on your health condition, but not giving in and laying down when I don't feel well, but keeping moving to the degree I'm able is probably my number one most effective pain relief. And it seems kind of counterproductive to be moving when you hurt. But if you have an autoimmune or an inflammatory type disease, sometimes movement will help improve your circulation and carry away a lot of that swelling and inflammation. All right, y'all. Here's my final. Woo, we got some trees falling over here. I tried to stick them down with some royal icing. I could not. All I could think of was decorator icing. But, you know, that was kind of fun, a little activity. I think it would be really fun to make one from scratch. I would recommend if you're getting a kit, make your own raw icing, because that icing was the devil. But it was something cute and something fun, and I enjoyed doing it. I hope you enjoyed hearing your questions answered. If I missed anyone and you have a question, please drop me a comment below, or if you don't want to put it out publicly, I'd be more than glad to answer you via email. My email is always down in the description box. So, y'all, by the time you see this, we will be like a week away from Christmas, right? I have so much to do. I haven't gift bagged my presents. I haven't wrapped any presents for my son. And I usually do a pretty big, deep clean, shampoo carpets, do things like that. So I'm going to be busy on chores this coming up week for me. I'm still actually a week ahead. I know, who am I, right? But we will have some more fun holiday content between now and Christmas. So I do hope you'll stay tuned. as a reminder, y'all, if you aren't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you know, the one over here. We would love to have you as part of what has turned out to be such a lovely group. I want to say thank you to all of you who spend time with me every single week, and welcome to all of our new subscribers. I will see you all next week. Keep getting ready for Christmas. Maybe don't buy the gingerbread kid. I don't know. It's okay. It's just, you know, kind of looks like an elementary school kid did it, but that's okay. That's okay. It was still fun. All right, guys, I will see you very soon. But until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.